Hello, my starry flurios. Oh my God, did I say that out loud? uh, Sorry. I always, behind the scenes, I always go, my flurios. But that's a bad nickname, so I apologize. But, anyways, in my private space, that's what I call all my followers. And I thank you so much for sticking around, and my commenters who are, you know who you are. You're very consistent, and I thank you for that. Um, yeah, so I'm back here just for my last pitch of please vote. Please, it's important. As I've said in my other videos previous to this, you know where I stand, but I hope that regardless of where you stand, that you take that duty to cast your vote because it's important. And it just is. It wasn't important to me for a really long time. And I don't know. I honestly can't tell you what election it was that brought me forward. Um, it was prior to Obama, but I don't know. I really can't remember. But I didn't vote for the longest time because I was like, doesn't matter. But it does. There are so many things that it affects. Supreme Court, for one, which we're all kind of dealing with right now. So it's just please, make your voice known. We're not asking you to knock on doors. We're not asking you to write 300 letters. We're not asking you to get on the phone and start phone banging. We're not asking any of that. We're just asking you to go to the polls and vote. Put your ballot in the mail. Put your ballot in a box that is well guarded, or go to the polls. Just do it. Come on. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's easier than a vaccine. It's easier than licking a stamp and sending a birthday card to your mom. It really is. It's that easy. Please do it. Okay, political rant or whatever, voting rant over. Anyway, so hi. I'm here to. I don't know why I'm here. I just felt like coming on. I think I wanted to document my week because it's been the busiest week I've had since I retired. Seriously. I mean, I always have something going on every week, but not every day of every week. And so it's been weird. So the first day of the week, I got all my snow tires changed over, thankfully, just in time because the snowflakes are showing up in my weather app. So glad to have that done. Then the next day, so that was Monday. Tuesday, I went in to make sure that my camper was winterized. They were very efficient. I hung out for an hour and they took care of it. So thankfully, that was done. Now I did that on my own last year, but and successfully, I might add. There's always a question there, but I just was like, I just don't want to. I don't want to be responsible for this again. So I took it in and they took care of it. Yay. And for anyone in my local area, what was really funny about this trip to this place to do this is we've had massive traffic changes in the area. They've put in I don't even want to go into great explanation, but they've made kind of to be able to get through the city and onto where you're going a lot easier. So Yahoo for that. What they didn't do was they made every possible availability for you to go north, but they haven't done a lot about going south. And so it ends up and when you go north, you are like locked in for the next 3 miles. There are no escape ramps, nothing. People are doing U-turns in the middle of this. It's not a freeway, but it might as well be. It's 2 lanes both ways. And they're already having issues. And so people are doing U-turns because they're like, oh, I don't want to be here. I want to be there. So all these problems, and anybody who's from here will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I myself have driven many miles out of my way because I didn't want to do that dangerous U-turn. And the last time it happened, I was like, screw this. I'm going to make the U-turn. And I did very safely. But nonetheless, come on. This big old road improvement, and now I'm required to do a U-turn in the middle of our freeway. That just seems not good. And I keep saying to myself, well, it's because it's not done. Well, come on. I don't care whether it's done or not. These things should have happened first. I know they take that stuff into account when they plan this stuff. What needs to happen first? What do we need to make sure happens? And then we'll, do the rest. Anyways. So, but what was so funny is I took my van in to get it winterized, and as I was coming out of the place, which is nearby near all this kind of new intersection stuff, there was a sign. It said Freeway South, and I'm like, it's the first time I've seen that sign ever. I'm up there all the time. Never seen that sign before. So I was like, well, let's check it out. So sure enough, boom, southbound. And I'm like, why is this so hard to find? So I was up there again for whatever reason the other day to check it out. And I kind of wander. I thought, I'm up here. I have nothing else going on. I'm going to wander around. There is nothing that signals this on-ramp to the southbound portion of this freeway except right in front of that southbound to the freeway. And I'm like, are they trying to keep people from, it's not a perfect throughway. It takes, but there's a whole nother whatever, big portion of a road coming from west to north that is coming. And technically right now, the only way you could go is onto this little road and then wait for freaking eternity for a left line to get into the thing to go southbound on the road. And nobody knows what to do. But yeah, actually, if you take a little roundabout and then cut through, I want to say parking lots, but it's not really parking lots. It's a road. It's not a big ass road, but it's a road. But you can go through that road and boom, southbound entrance. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with it. The only thing I can figure is that why is this crooked? I always think it's off. Which one is this? This one. There we go. Okay. I always think the only thing I can think of is they don't want to advertise this thoroughfare just yet. That the road between the main north, the one that I just spoke about, the west-east road, to be able to cut through, that road is not improved enough. Literally, it was a parking lot kind of throughway. And I think it's not built out enough to handle what traffic may come that way to get to the southbound. So I feel, I guess I get it, but, and for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about I'm sorry I'm ranting about this. I guess I needed to get it off my chest. Anyways, I'm really glad I found that little thing, because it makes my life much easier as I go for it. So I go up there a lot, and as do many people. Many people are not doing the trek that I do. But on the other hand, for those who are, look a little harder, dig a little deeper, you can find that entrance. So yay for that. Okay, I'm off on my road rant. So what else was I going to talk about? Did the politics, I did the road. Oh, okay, so Monday was snow tires on both my vehicles. Tuesday was the winterizing of my camper. Today was, I had to go, I switched insurance companies because my insurance company that I'd been with forever, Safeco, thank you, I'll name it, raised my rates almost by half. Almost, I don't even know if my math is right, almost by 100%. It was insane. And I called them, as I do always, every year, like clockwork, and they always bring it down. But after my whole, and I think I made a video about this, my whole cable frickin' debacle about having to call them every frickin' 6 months to beg for a discount that is barely 6 months, and then it goes right back up, hike, hike, hike. I was like, done. And so I got rid of that cable company. I'm probably paying more now for streaming services and whatever else. I don't care. I really don't care. The fact that these folks make me beg to bring the cost down is demeaning. It's demeaning. And that is how I began to feel about my insurance company. I'm like, I am paying you a gargantuous amount of money every year to cover me. This is not that hard. Why did it go up by this much? Oh, well, we can bring it down. Yeah, typical. But they brought it down by nothing. I mean, like $700. They raised it by $4,000. And then, I mean, seriously, I don't think I'm joking here. I mean, it might have been a little less, but it was double what I'd been paying. And yes, we have some issues in our area, and I understand that. But nonetheless, that was insane. So, so they brought it down by whatever. So lucky for me, I have neighbors who, and one of which has been in the insurance business all her life. She's retired now, but she knows the deal. And her company, not the same as mine, also did the same thing. And when she called, kind of saying, this is what I've done for the last 40 years of my life, and I'm struggling to understand what's going on here. Please dig down deep and tell me what's going on. And the woman she ended up speaking with said, basically, if you were trying to get insurance through our company today, we would not insure you. So the price hike was to get them to walk away, which they did. And she did luckily, it happened a couple of months before my situation occurred, because she came and told me that story. And I said, well, we'll wait and see what happens with mine. And she came and told me that story, and the research she had done, and she came upon a new company, and so I was so very excited about that. And so when my time came, and my company was pretty much did the same thing, although they didn't tell me they wanted to uninsure me, but basically it was a ridiculous price hike, and they weren't going to bring it down at all. And begging once again didn't help. I was like, fine. So I called the company that she had gone with, and they were, come on board, come on down. We'd love to chat with you. And they sent me a quote, reasonable quote, kind of crazy reasonable quote. I don't think they were underpinning anything. They knew what my previous quotes had been, but I had a lot of pluses in my column, which was really good. And I ended up going with them. And then, so that's fine. So in my lifetime, I've never, ever met an insurance agent in person. It was always over the phone. It was, when I was a kid, it was through my dad. When I was a young adult, through my dad. When it all switched over to when I thought I was an adult, it just was over the phone. I just, never talked to anybody. Of course, I wasn't a homeowner. I wasn't, there were a lot of differences going on. But nonetheless, so I sat down with the guy today. They'd been after me for months to sit down with this guy. And I was like, I don't want to, why do I want to meet with my insurance? I just don't. Just tell me what it costs and I'll pay. Which is a horrible way to look at insurance, but that's kind of how I felt. I was just like, I've never talked to anybody else. It was my usual, that's what I was used to. So I sat down with this guy today, and he was great. We went through everything. And we made one adjustment. And he said to me later, he goes, normally when I sit down with somebody, there's at least 30. He says, and I'm being kind. Adjustments that we need to make given whatever's going on in their lives. Their lifestyle, their timing, their kids, their, everything. There's all these layers to insurance. But when you're me, or in my position, which is single, I don't need to go into that many details, but single, not no strong mortgages, not a lot of debt, just all that stuff. You make changes to your insurance based on that. And and other things. And so we made adjustments based on my life, which I had not considered. And I was really thankful for those adjustments. And they cost me a song. It wasn't like a major hike or anything. It was just a let's tweak this just a bit. And that was it. And what I loved about this place is it was a great little local place. But he when I walked into the and this is where I realized who and what I am. I walked into his office and immediately did a scan of everything, to the point where I knew as much as I could about this man before ever saying hello, almost before shaking his hand. And the first thing I recognized was he has a dog, and so we talked about the dog, which was in the back room. He also warned me that it's a gigantic dog, Saint Bernard, and he said he may come visit, which he did within mere moments. And but apparently I passed the sniff test because the dog, and he goes, well, he's usually a little more hesitant to deal with people, so he must be okay. And I'm like, yeah, you say that to all the girls. But anyways, it was really funny. And then I mentioned about his support of the Oregon Ducks, and he was kind of like, how do you know that? And I go, well, he had pictures on his wall, kind of all misrelated in various ways, but several Duck fan memorabilia on the ground. I was like, this is not incredible insight on my part. It's all there on the wall. And he was like, fair enough. And so, anyways, we just it was fun, but it was funny when I walked away from that. I was like, I never. One of the things that I'm told frequently is that I see more than most, and I don't mean that in a buffoonery way. I just mean, they're like, "How did you know that?" And I get that a lot. And the thing is that the world that surrounds you is observable to anybody around you, and if someone walks in there and observes it, then they know it. They absorb it. They get the feels from all of that. Well, at least I do. Maybe other people don't work that way. I don't work to that. I just walk in and that's what I see. I see that. I feel that. I engage it. I absorb it, and I encourage conversation because of it. I've always been that way, and I've never thought it was odd, but it was so funny today that he was like, "How did you know that?" Every single thing. Or, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "Well." This and it was kind of funny. On the other hand, I think he thought, oh, she's interesting, we like her. I don't know if he thought that. I don't know. Anyway, so that was today, and I put it off forever. I did not, the word was, this guy likes to meet with all his new insurees or whatever they call it, and I was like, this is just not something I've ever done. I don't want to do it. And I put it off for a long time. Finally did it, and I'm really glad that I did. Partially because I really think there was an adjustment to insurance that I needed to make that I wasn't aware of, based on an adjustment that my neighbor had suggested that I was completely unaware of. No other company or the company I'd been with forever had ever suggested it. And it astounds me that I didn't know more. So anyway, so I'm glad that happened. So that was today. And then tomorrow, what's going on tomorrow? Is there something going on tomorrow? Maybe not. Maybe I've got the day off. I don't think I do, though. I have to think about it. I have to look at my thing. Yeah, no, nothing. But it might snow. So yay for me getting my snow tires on. I'm ready. But Friday, I have a little furniture delivery. I ordered, several months ago, I ordered a really cool 36-inch by 17-inch chest from QW Furniture. I think that was the name of it. Google it. I'll put a link below if I think about it. They made me a chest a while back. What's cool about them is you can pre-order them and in exactly the size you want. And the wood that you want, and the color that you want, all this stuff. It's really cool. I think it's Amish built. I think it's really well constructed. And so I ordered one on, because I'm running out of storage for my tarot decks. And turns out that this chest was freaking amazing. So I ordered another one because I've got one in my downstairs bedroom and one in my upstairs bedroom right at the foot of the bed. Um, so it's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Tomorrow is Halloween. So I've got a thing going on with my neighbors because we're all gonna pal up on their porch and hand out candy and have probably some Halloweeny cocktails and things like that. So that's tomorrow. That's what's happening tomorrow. And then Friday is the chest delivery. So this is the first week where I've literally everything stuff going on every single day of the week, and I'm exhausted. Not really. It's been exciting. Um, and I do. I mean, I tend to after being a event planner all your life, you do tend to, you want a buildup of stuff. I've always been, I don't know if I've always been that way, but I certainly learned that while I was doing that job. That I like things in order. I like to have a lot of stuff to do. And when I retired, all of a sudden I didn't have all. Well, when I was with my dad, caring for my dad, I had that. Everything was a lot of things in order, routines, things like that. But when that all fell apart, um, yeah, I haven't had a lot of structure in my life recently, last couple of years, and so it's been really fun to have this structure throughout this week, which, pardon me, which makes me think I've got to keep doing this. I've got to keep lining up stuff because it's good for me to have those structures in place. I function better when I have things to do, places to be, time constraints. I just do. So, but when you're retired, sometimes those are hard to come up with. So that's my job going forward is to make that happen. So I have two decks that I want to talk about just briefly because this is a Nancy catch-up as opposed to a let me tell you about all my cool decks. But one deck is I can't remember the name of it. I have the box somewhere. I'm not even going to find it. I think this is called the Winter Season. Here I got the guidebook. Maybe this will tell me. I'm going to move this back just a bit. Ooh, make sure I'm still recording. Yes, I am. Yes. So it's called the Winter Season Tarot. This is the little white book, and I think it was a Kickstarter. These are the backs. Have I showed this before? I might have showed this before. These are the backs. Hello. I'm such a snow freak. These things kill me. But the deck itself, these photographs, and again, I'm sorry if I've already showed this, but I'm going to show it again. They are so gorgeous. They seriously, photographic decks are hit and miss with me, because they really take the perspective of the photographer into what their interpretation of the card, and that's kind of what am I trying to say? It adds that other layer. To me, it's like there's things that add layers to decks. Like if the font is too small, it's a layer because I have to squint to see what the frick it is. If it's black and white, I think my head needs to fill in the color. If it's super psychedelic, I have to interpret what is going on. I don't mean psychedelic like Silicon Way. I mean psychedelic like the Trippin-Waits, things like that. You have to kind of dial in even though it's pretty easy, but you still have to, you take that extra moment to dial in those visuals. And that can kind of mess with your ability to interpret, in my opinion. And I usually have that problem with photographic decks because it's so personal to the photographer and their interpretation, in my opinion. And yet this deck has, oh my God, I think I showed this up. But look at this. Page of Wands. All the pages have little sacks on them. with a message in that. Anyways, these are, oh my God, I freaking love this deck. And of course, for those of you, oh, sorry about that. For those of anybody who's followed me at any length, here's another page. Is that a page? Yeah. That's it. Here's a little green. Oh my God, I just love it. Anybody who's following me knows I'm a huge winter person, and we are coming upon that season, and I'm so excited. And we've got snow in the forecast for the next couple of days. No major, but it seems early to me this year, which is exciting. Usually our heavier snows come in January and February. So to have something in October is kind of exciting. Look at that. Oh. Anyways, so I adore this deck. And again, it's called the Winter Season Tarot. Do I know who it's by? Maybe. Hold on. Let me give a name. If I can, I'll put a link down below. Ascension Tarot. Danielle Norman. DanielNorman.ca. So that's her or his website. Canada. Love my maples. Anyways, so really cool. And I ordered this bag from Peggy Pepez ages ago. And it's been because snowflakes, oh my God, they're my thing. Waiting for the deck that belongs in this bag. And here it is. Had no idea. Didn't put the two together until I was digging through some stuff and I found this bag, which had not been stuffed with any deck. And now it is. I love it. Thank you, Peggy. I love it. By the way, shout out to your Sassy Dragons Kickstarter. I'll put a link down below as well. People, go order it. It's so freaking cute and so great. So well done. Anyway, second deck that I want to show off, which I didn't think I would be able to get, is the Botan. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. Botan Tarot. I ended up ordering it from a company in Thailand, which is a bit unnerving because you literally, when the price comes down, it's like 86,000 and I remember having to, I was like, okay, let's stop, don't overreact, let's go to the currency exchange and find out what we're talking about. And it ended up being super reasonable, as was shipping. So it was a company in Thailand, the Charming Way Tarot or something like that. But anyways, I have to say that these backs are simply the most beautiful backs I've ever seen. Totally reversible. They're just gorgeous. It's a linen stock. I say linen. It's a, I don't know if it's linen, but it's got the linen texture. It's still very thick, so I don't know exactly. I'll put a link down below if I can. But anyways, it's just, let me get this right so I can screw everything up. It's really a stunning, beautiful deck. I think it's all watercolor. I think that's what they said. I could be wrong. But I'm so excited about this deck. This is one of my favorite cards. Three of Wands. It came up today, and I think I posted it on Instagram just because, oh my God, it's so pretty. Uh-oh. The star. My card. I think it's watercolor. It's just so... Even though this seems pippish, I don't think it is at all. At least I didn't... I will tell you, I've read with this deck for 3 days straight, and I never in my mind was concerned with a pippish feel. So if it's pippish, you won't know it. And one of my favorite cards, which was in my spread on the Instagram, is the Empress. I love that she's old. I love that she's gray haired. Just, it's just so stunning. It's funny. I am really, oh, look at the moon. I am really trying to understand I'm trying to understand the love that I have, oh, sorry, for my tarot decks. Cause it's kind of, I don't know, maybe you all get this, but it's kind of weird. Cause, oh my God. Well, and as my knowledge builds, um, as my knowledge builds and my ability to, like, there were times when, and I think I've mentioned this over time, that when I talk about shuffling, that if I couldn't shuffle it, if I couldn't riffle shuffle it, then it was out of my world. It's out, I love the deck, but bye bye. Now that I do more side shuffling and the what I call the Johnny Shuffle, which is the waterfall, I think it's called waterfall shuffling. Um, it doesn't matter to me, the deck. I still don't like really thick cardstock decks. That's just me, the but I can shuffle any deck I own, and so it's so amazing to me the world that has opened up. As we get into this interest in tarot, I don't think I'm alone saying that we stock our libraries with things that intrigue us. And I have a lot of decks that intrigued me at the beginning, but I found out I couldn't riffle shuffle, and suddenly they went by the wayside. And they are like a brand new discovery to me because my shuffle isn't getting in the way anymore. And I encourage anybody. Well, now I'm sounding like I'm selling, but I just want to say, if you have a deck library that may not be as accessible to you as you thought it would be, number one, go back and revisit it because, oh my God, what you have learned just in the last few months or the last year or the last year and a half or 3 years in my case changes everything. It changes how you deal with the deck, how you look at the deck, how you interpret the deck. Because, you're when you're starting out, you're like you got your ABCs. And that's pretty much it. See, spot, run. That's what you do. And then you graduate to see, spot, run, fast. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And when you have left decks behind for whatever reason, and you come back to them a year, year and a half, 6 months, whatever, later, it's amazing how different they are and how glorious they are. I just can't express this more because I've been going through this kind of woo explosion of, oh my God, I have the most amazing things in my library. It's really cool and I really like it. And it's helped me kind of control what I bring into the library now because I understand so much more deeply what I look for in a deck and what I respond to in a deck. And the Botan has been an interesting moment for me because this is a deck that probably 2 years ago I would have gone, oh, it's beautiful, and just stuck it away. Like, I'm really glad I have that in the library. That's a good find. Glad I have that. But I don't think I would have spent much time reading with it. Almost too pretty, just didn't get it, didn't know enough about the cards, blah, blah, blah. And now it is just like this new dictionary of beauty to me. And I was so excited. So anyways, that's my take on the tarot today. So thanks all for stopping by. I always appreciate it. And let's hope it snows. Talk to you later. Star and Flurry out.